You are now tuned in to the realest podcast.
MW, we back up in this thing. You can't roll with us if your last name don't got no loyalty. Podcast party poppin', but you already knew. I've been rolling with these folks. This that Monday night crew. Millennials versus the world like. Millennials versus the world like you. Millennials versus the world like. Millennials versus the world like you. Millennials versus the world. Millennials versus the world like you. Millennials versus the world like. Millennials versus the world like you.
Yo, what up, man? It's your boy K-Dot Mims. Welcome back to another episode of Millennials vs. the World, the only spot you get authenticity and entertainment at the same time. June 1st, DC, you already know how we moving, man. We got the podcast party popping off. Lydia on 8th Street, man. Come tap in with us, man. Tickets are going fast, so make sure you grab yours. Super excited about this interview, man. So I hit her up a couple months ago, man. We've been in contact. We've been putting it together, man. Super dope soul. DC native, a grinder. She's in the podcast space. She's in the beauty space. She's an award winner, and she's really been doing her thing. She's your best friend in beauty, Miss Akua Robinson. How you feeling?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So before we get into everything, I just kind of tap in and say, like, how are you? How's life? Because we post-pandemic, but, life is moving fast.
I would say life is good.
For sure.
I take things one day at a time.
Yeah.
If I try to get too far ahead of myself, I get overwhelmed. So life is, today, I can say life is good.
For sure. Love it. So for people that don't know, just kind of tap into like your upbringing, where you from, and how you got into the beauty space and what moved you towards that.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm born and raised in Washington, D.C.
Yeah. For sure.
D.C. proper.
Oh yeah.
Not Maryland or Virginia, because we don't do that.
All right.
So born and raised in Washington, D.C. As far as upbringing, I would say I always tell people I grew up super Afrocentric.
Oh, dope.
I went to all African-centered private schools up
dope.
until high school. Then I went to public school. I went to Banneker.
Okay.
So, I'm smart.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So I didn't really start getting into beauty per se. My mom was a braider, but I didn't get into like makeup and hair per se until I went to high school, because at those African-centered schools, we had to wear African clothes every day, no nails, no makeup, no jeans, anything like that. So when I went to high school, I was able to explore, things like that. I went to be a hairstylist, though.
Oh, okay.
I graduated from high school when I was 17.
Salute.
So everybody was like, oh, you need to go to college. You need a backup plan, like all those things. And that's what I did. I went to UDC, got my IT degree, and graduated in the recession.
Okay, salute.
But nobody was hiring, though, in the recession. So I was just working, like, jobs just to keep money in my pocket. And I don't like working for people. I don't know. I can get jobs, but after a while, I'm like, I need to just get out of here. So I was like, what can I do to make money that I like? And at that time, I was in my late 20s getting into makeup on myself. And I was like, why not try makeup?
For sure. That's
so
what's
I always
up.
say, like, the rest is history in the making, because I went on to do makeup school. After that, I just ran with it. It was like telling everybody I was a makeup artist, and people were confused because at that time, I wasn't really wearing makeup. So they're like, you a makeup artist? All right, sure. But just throughout that time, just continued to like network, build my portfolio, and things have just continued to snowball after that.
Salute. So you said something that made me want to ask another question. So in that phase of like, you just got out of college, and then you're trying to like, the jobs ain't jobbing like that. What were you doing to get yourself out there? When you first got into makeup and said, I'm a makeup artist, what were some of the things that you were doing to get yourself out there?
Yeah, definitely building my portfolio was one of them. So my makeup teacher, she had a connection at a photography studio in Forestville, and I was in that thing like numerous times a week because just working on models, it would be other photographers in the studio too shooting. So after a while, you just start to meet people. Oh, can you do this makeup? Can you do that makeup? So I was doing that. And then also there weren't necessarily a lot of events here in DC for beauty industry people. So I was like on the mega bus or the Chinese bus going back and forth to New York to go to events.
Oh, salute.
And I was up there so much that people thought I lived there. So you start to see the same people over and over. And they're like, oh, you should come to this. I'm like, oh, Ashley, I got to take my bus back to these. You don't live here? I'm like, no, I don't live here. So just going back and forth to New York at the time, building my portfolio, and just trying to put myself in places where people were doing the things that I wanted to do.
For sure. Salute to you. So in that, I heard you say your mom was a hairstylist, and you went to an Afrocentric school up until high school. Who or what was some of the biggest influences that kind of made you go there? And like, I know seeing your mom do hair, did you ever tap into that and then go elsewhere? So who were those big influences, or what were big influences to get you to
into beauty?
Yeah, into beauty.
I would say definitely my mom first, because just watching her braid, I wanted to do hair. So I would do my hair. I've been doing my own hair since, not this though, not this, but I've been doing my own hair since I was like 11 years old. So doing my own hair, doing my friend's hair, you know, things like that. That's why I wanted to be a hairstylist. But as far as makeup goes, I always say I went to go see the movie, like the remake of Sparkle, like when it first came out, and I was just really mesmerized for some reason. Now that I look back at no shade, but like when I look back at the movie now, I'm like, the makeup is not that like grand, but at that time for me it was like, oh, they look so pretty, like real glamorous. For some reason I went home, it was like, who did the makeup for Sparkle? Like, I just wanted to know. And one of the people that popped up, her name is Kim Lee, and Kim Lee is a makeup artist that is from this area. So I was like, oh wow. And she taught at the makeup school that I went to at some point. So I was like, oh wow, she's from here and she's like working on movies and stuff like that. I could probably do something like that one day, or just do makeup one day. So that kind of like sparked my interest initially after I saw that movie. Oh, salute.
That's dope. That's dope. So what about hair, doing hair, did you not rock with, or just wasn't your style? Because you stylish now with it, you know what I'm saying? So you be getting the locks done up, you know what I mean? So like, was it just not something that you were into, or you just saw it enough to where you're like, I like it, but that's not where I'm going with it?
Yeah, I think just after going to college, it kind of just dampened or dampered, I don't even know the word, but it just dimmed the passion that I had for it at the time. So I was just like, what else can I do? I mean, it's still beauty industry related, but I'm like, maybe I want to do hair, because hair, you got to go to like school and you gotta get certified and all that stuff. And I'm like, makeup school was like 6 weeks, and I was like, boop boop.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
for sure. So let's get into what you do now. So you have Friends in Beauty, which I think is dope. Just the way you it's like, not only do you do in the beauty space, but a lot of people don't understand how hard it is to build community and like not be in the rat race, or not trying to like everybody just here for each other, supporting each other. So just kind of tap into what Friends in Beauty is about, how it got started, and how you actually, you know, got it to where it is now. Oh my God.
So Friends in Beauty is like my little baby. So how did I get started? So I'm always like, where do I start with Friends in Beauty? Because
take your time.
I would say I've been a makeup artist for 11 years now. And just over the years, I would always run into people who were like, I don't have other makeup artist friends, or I don't have other beauty friends. Oh, it's tons of gatekeepers. Like, nobody wants to share information. Like, just all this negative stuff all the time. I'm like, how you don't have other makeup artist friends? Because in the industry like this, like, you have to have people, whether they're another makeup artist, they just need to be in the industry. Because I think the things that we experience are so unique that if you go to your friends or family, they're not going to understand. Like,
for sure.
Girl, why you crying over a client didn't show up? But why you crying over you didn't get that deposit, and you should have, like, just like certain things. So I used to do coaching programs and stuff like that. People always tell me that I'm so good at networking. So I was like, one of the coaching programs I was doing at the time, I was teaching people how to network.
Oh, wow.
Like, how to network to get their clients, how to network to, you know, connect with people in the industry. And then I was like, well, if I'm teaching them how to network, maybe I should throw like a networking event for them to practice, you know, what they learned. So that's what I did. So I had my first Friends in Beauty event February 2019, and over 100 people showed up.
Oh, wow.
And I was like shook. I was like, oh, okay, so this is a thing. So traditionally, Friends in Beauty events are speed networking. So I like to do speed networking because a lot of people are introverted. They don't know how to engage and everything. But I'm like, if you're sitting there and somebody's coming to you, you should be good. So I started off with doing speed networking events in 2019. Did about 6 events up until the pandemic hit. Literally had my last event the day before the shutdown.
Oh, wow.
Like 20-something people showed up because they were all scared. I was like, I got hand sanitizer. I got the hand sanitizer. I got the Lysol and all that stuff. But they didn't want to come. So I was telling them, I was like, I don't know how long we're going to be shut down. Y'all should probably come out.
Yeah, for sure.
So I had my last event, and that sat me down for a little bit with events, of course, because we couldn't get out. So that's why I pivoted to the podcast, because I was
okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why I pivoted. So the podcast is my pandemic, baby, I always say. So I pivoted to the podcast because I personally love to still network and connect with people. And I'm like, if I can't get outside and do it, let me just do it on the podcast. So I've been doing the podcast since 2020. Picked up doing events again, I think 2022, maybe. I don't even know. It took me a while to get back to the events. So we're still doing networking events. We have the podcast, we have the community, and just growing it. I mean, it's like baby steps. For real.
Sure. Yeah. So now I got, you know what I'm saying? First of all, salute, because you just recently hit over 200 too, so I saw that. Salute to you. Salute to everything you're doing. So a lot of people don't understand, myself, like growing something and being in different things.
Yeah.
If you are, and if you're not, you know, you can explain both ways. Being a one person band that has to control all these different things, how was it building, like, from makeup school? Now I got an event, 100 people. What was that grind like, getting 100 people in the door, and what typically happens at your events, so people kind of know when they tap in what they're gonna get?
Yeah, the grind.
Yeah,
I have been a one woman show all this time. Now with the podcast, I have someone that edits for me since like last year, and someone who handles my emails, but still, like, I'm still a one woman show with everything. I really don't know how I do things. Honestly,
salute to you, yo.
I just do it. I don't know. I really don't. It's so hard because I'm like, of course people want to know, but I just go after it. Like, if I have something that I want to do, I just figure out how to get it done. And I think that's why having a network or networking and having people around you is so important too, because of course I could tap into my network. If I don't have resources for certain things, I can ask around, but I don't know.
Hey, let me ask this though, because I thought about this in the same thing. What has been more important for you as far as in your network when you building relationships, having someone you can trust and you know, like, I'm not saying that services aren't worth money or things like that, but how important has it been having relationships over having to pay for every single time you text somebody or call somebody? Because everybody don't understand that. Like, a lot of people don't know, like, being locked in with folks that got your back because they believe in you is far different from trying to Google an IG hashtag somebody that does that. So how important has it been in your growth story to have just people that you believe in and they y'all pour into each other? How important has that been?
It's super important. I always say I've been eating off my network for all this time, pretty much. Go. I always say I've been eating off my network this whole time, just because I've made connections with people, and you get referrals, you get clients, you get opportunities. Like, every single major opportunity I have gotten as a makeup artist, no lie, and I know if people follow me, they heard me say this a million times, but it's so true, and it's the reason I wanted to start Friends in Beauty. But every single major opportunity I have gotten as a makeup artist has come from networking.
Oh, wow.
It has never come from me Googling an opportunity and saying, like, oh, let me apply for this. It's always come from me meeting somebody at an event or somewhere, being myself, and they're like, an opportunity comes up maybe months or years later, and they're like, oh, let me... Akua would be great for this.
That means you left a good impression on a lot of people.
But you can't do that all the time on social media. Like,
for sure.
You gotta kind of get out there and meet people in person.
Can you tap it? I know I'm not alone now. You know what I'm saying? Yo, so real quick story, then we gonna go there. My mentor, when I first started, I actually started in making clothing. I had my own clothing brand a long time ago.
I can tell. The merch is fire.
Appreciate it. So, like, when I used to do it, he used to always say, he's older, so he's like, man, get off the phone, just go out, get out there, jump out there. And I used to be like, what you mean, dude? Like, he's like, no, man, get out there and hustle. And I never knew what he meant, but what he was saying was, like, go connect with people. And the biggest lesson I learned, I was opening up a business bank account. And he was like, hey, man, go to the bank.
Right, so you can meet the banker.
He's like, go to the bank, man, don't sit there. So kind of tap into, like, in this world of social media and digital age, how important it has been to actually, like, off camera, we was talking about networking events. How important is it going to those events, meeting people, shaking people's hand, getting to know the vibes? How important has that been?
It's so important, and I know my introverts are shaking in their boots. Like, I know they're shaking in their boots, but I don't even want people to use that as an excuse. Like, nobody's telling you not to be an introvert.
Yeah, for sure.
We're just telling you to show up.
Yeah, for sure. That's
because
real.
there's going to be somebody there that can come and, like, guide you through the situation. But you have to meet people in person. Like, I can't stress it enough. That's why I do the events, because people always leave with a collaboration, a new friend.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's not always about making business connections, but you can leave with a really dope friend for the rest of your life.
Facts. So we're gonna get into the challenges, but one thing I wanted to ask is, how do you keep up, like, in this age of comparison is so easy, you're scrolling all the time. How do you step into being you and not like getting away from being unique in your own right, not looking at what everybody else is doing? Because like here, even in the production company, even in the podcast space, it's easy to look at somebody else's stuff and be like, oh, I'm not doing that. So how do you keep it like tunnel vision on yourself, staying unique within you and showing everybody what you bring? How do you stay within that?
I think it just comes with time and comes with age, because I feel like it's just a normal human thing to compare yourself.
For sure.
But I try to compare myself in a positive way, like not a negative way. So if I do see somebody that's doing something different than me, it's not like I'm not doing that. It's like, oh, maybe I should try that, but in my own way. I think we all have our own unique sauce that we bring to things.
For sure.
So even if I did do an interview or a setup that was similar to somebody else, like it's still me that's doing it. Like I'm going to bring my personality to it. Sure. I think you really just have to tap into what makes you who you are. And I think a lot of people are too afraid to sit down and quiet themselves to really figure out what that is.
110%.
And then this is another thing that people are scared to do. But when I started doing video, like doing YouTube, doing content and stuff like that, it really helped me to see myself. Because when I was on social media, I really couldn't tell, like, is this really my personality, or am I just like this on social media? So when I start doing videos now and like I see the way that I talk, I'm like, oh, that is how I talk. That is how I act with people. When people see me in person, they're gonna get the same type of vibe and that's super important too. Because there are people that I've met in person that I'm like, that wasn't what they was giving on social media.
Facts.
Now I'm upset.
For
now
real.
I want to fight.
Especially if I don't pay some bread.
Now I want to fight you because that's not what you was giving on social media. So I think it's really important to just maybe sometime record yourself. Just see how you move, see your mannerisms, see how you talk and everything. And just be yourself.
So I told you this off screen, so please forgive me. How was it? Because a lot of people don't get this. How was it jumping out, getting on video? Because a lot of people wasn't like big in the video. Seeing yourself, hearing yourself. Salute on your 1,000 subscribers that you recently got. Yeah, for sure. So how was it like transitioning to like just seeing yourself all the time, talking to nobody but everybody? Like how was that for you? What were some of the struggles, if there was any, kind of being on Front Street all the time? You do a hell of a job with that.
That's the thing. It's like I always tell people, even if you are nervous about doing something, it's not going to go away until you do it. I think a lot of us make up these things in our head before we even know if it's going to come true. So with doing video, I don't think I was ever nervous to do video per se, but just hearing my voice back was weird to me.
I still hate it to this day. I've
gotten used to it. Like now I can watch myself, I can listen to myself, but initially hearing my voice, I'm like, that's how I sound. Like it's just weird to me. Like that's how I really sound. Just getting comfortable with it. You just have to do it.
For sure.
Like
for sure.
Practice. You can set up a camera and press record and nobody has to see it.
That's bro, I'm not alone, bro. I say the same thing. Like don't nobody know what it sound like or look like.
But then the next step is like if it is good or not. The next step is putting it out. I think that's what a lot of people struggle with, is being seen. A lot of people don't want to be seen. And what I've been, even with doing the podcast, I've been having all of these epiphanies lately. Because even with talking to people and just trying to figure out what makes me unique, I realized that a lot of people are outliers. Like a lot of people have all of these unique experiences from birth that have gotten them to where they are. And that's one reason I don't compare anymore either.
Salute.
Because when I start talking to people, even on my podcast, and they're like, their brand is so grand. Girl, you went to college for marketing. You've been doing, this is what you do. So, just talking to somebody recently on my podcast, she mentioned, like, she was a theater major. She did this and that kind of prepared her for what she's doing now. And I was like, I never thought about it. I used to do acting. Like, I used to do plays and stuff like that. Dance and things like that. But I never imagine that was the thing that prepared me to be in front of people.
Yeah,
So I guess I have a level of confidence or a level of being comfortable in front of people that I didn't realize is probably what has made me comfortable in front of the cameras or talking to people and, networking and all these things. Yeah. So I think going back to how you make yourself unique, or you really had to just figure out all of the unique things that only you have done in your life
110%.
that have prepared you to be where you are.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. Love it. So, kind of transition to asking, like, what are some of the biggest challenges you face up until this point? Whether they be external, meaning like business-wise, event-wise, or they've been internal with, mental health or personal. You can do both if you would like. But what are some of the biggest challenges you've experienced up until this point?
I think my biggest challenge is changing my money mindset.
Okay. I can feel that.
I think that's one of my biggest challenges. I do meditations and affirmations all the time just to kind of like subconsciously change it, because on the surface, I don't feel like I have any problems with money, but I'm like, there's no reason why. I mean, I'm pretty popping and people think I'm popping, but I know where I want to be. For sure. So it's like, there's no reason why I'm not there. It's got to be something that's deeper. So I think money, like just the idea of money and how money flows and how money comes and goes, and like, all of those things is what's been the biggest challenge for me.
Okay. Salute. And this is another thing. I think, first of all, let me say this. I should have said this 20 minutes ago. Appreciate your transparency, because a lot of people don't kick it real about what it's really like. And I explain what I mean. I think I've experienced a lot when you interview people, you talk to people. It's like, if we were to cut these off or have the conversation before, they'll say everything that's real and then get up here like, nah, like people need to know, like, nah.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm straight, but it's money, because money, my biggest thing of 2023, it happened, and it was a blessing. Business went cool. I wasn't ready for it. And when it went really good, I'm like, hey, man, I know I'm tearing some of this up. Because too much coming in and I ain't got enough back afterwards. So I appreciate that level of transparency. What would you say has been your biggest niche within beauty? So like, you do events, you do actual makeup, you do a lot of different things. You do the podcast. What's your thing where it's like, within this my bag? Ain't no like, I'll get into this anytime I want and we can take it there. I'll take anybody on. Which one is yours?
Take anybody on.
Take anybody on. If you wanna go in this, we can go. What is that for you?
That's a bold one. I'm very confident in my artistry. So when it comes to skin, like doing foundation,
for sure,
that's something that I'm known for. So I feel like at any given time, I could just fall back into teaching. Because I was teaching. I forgot to even mention that. I did used to teach at the same cosmetology school that I went to.
Salute.
So, and I also did my own makeup classes. So I could easily fall back into teaching and be like very confident in that. Like, I'm in my bag with the teaching and all of that.
Yeah, for sure. So, you're probably one of the most consistent people I follow ever in life. Yeah, because you be getting it in for real.
That's a compliment.
How do you navigate social media? I'm gonna say from 3 different aspects. Consistency being number 1. Number 2, remaining creative in a time where this ain't no shots at nobody. This is like, we live in a time where everybody wants something to look cool, but have no substance or direction behind it. It's just cool stuff. You know what I mean? So your consistency, your creativity, and keeping a growth mindset with something that can sometimes plateau a lot. So like consistency, your creativity and mindset of social media. How do you navigate through all those?
All right, so first thing I had to tell myself is social media. Well, let's just talk about Instagram, because I'm not really on TikTok and all that. I'm an old lady. So when it comes to Instagram, I always tell people that I mentor, it's an app. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's an app.
Yeah, for sure.
Why are we getting all, in a tizzy about an app? For sure. Number 1. 110%. Now, if you want to use the app, as far as consistency, I always tell people when it comes to consistency, because people always compliment me on consistency, and I literally have been trying to figure out do you think you could teach people how to be consistent?
No.
Okay, cool.
No, I think you got to believe in what you're doing.
Okay, cool. Because I'm like, I want to help people so bad, but it just be a thing.
That's real.
When it comes to the consistency, though, I always tell people that you determine your consistency.
But how do you be? But how are you that consistent? Like, or is it just in you?
Because I determine it.
Oh, okay.
So if I want to show up every day on social media, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But if I want to show up once a week, then that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you show up once a week and it's really, really good, then people are going to look forward to seeing you once a week. But now you just got to keep doing it.
Yeah.
I think that's where people get into it. But for me, consistency on social media, I have so much content.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you're creating content, you really shouldn't have a problem. But like I said, the thing is people posting it. People have all this stuff in their phone, but they don't post
110%.
it. So I try to at least post every day, at least Monday through Friday, in the morning, maybe in the afternoon, and maybe in the evening.
Oh yeah, you don't be playing. That's
though. But for sure, I'm going to post something in the morning. If I don't get the evening or the afternoon, that's fine. But for sure, I'm going to post something around like 8:30, 9 o'clock.
So let me ask, you always had that mindset about it just being an app, or you had to grow into that?
No, I had to grow into that.
Okay, can you kind of tap into what it was like, how you separated it being reality? Not say, because you didn't say it was reality, but how you kind of had to separate it, what happened? Like, kind of talk about that transition.
I just
like,
had to be real.
Yeah. Was it bothering you though? Like, was it something like, was you taking too much on from it and you like, yo, pause? Or it was just like you got so busy where you didn't have to be on it all the time? Like,
no, I think I was just getting too caught up in it.
For sure.
Even now, I be still getting caught up in the sense that, like, I'll send my friend a video and she's like, girl, that was like 6 different clips put together, like those little videos you see with animals being rescued on the side of the road. Have you seen those? She's like, girl, that was like 6 different cats. That wasn't even like the same person, but just getting too wrapped up in it sometimes. You just be like, wait a minute, like this is I could delete this thing at any time. It could crash at any time, and you have no control over it. So why am I just wrapping myself up so much in this?
For sure. I've been guilty of the same thing.
Yeah.
So creatively, how do you keep it creative in your world and beauty? Like, how do you keep it so creative? Or maybe you're just a creative person and you display it. So which way does it go? How do you keep your creativity going?
Maybe I'm just creative. I definitely feed off of other people. I try to follow what's trending sometimes, or if it resonates with me. If the trend resonates, then I'll tap into the trend. How do I stay creative? I don't even think I'm intentional about it, honestly.
That's dope, though. I think that makes it even better, though.
Yeah, I don't even think I'm intentional about being creative. I just get an idea, or sometimes I might get inspired by a sound, or I'll just think of a song and like, oh, this would probably go with this scenario or something like that. I don't think I'm intentional about like, okay, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I get it. So I guess we can kind of transition into you meeting all the people you've met via the podcast, being in the different spaces, going to New York. Before we talk about like your proudest moments, kind of tap into the trip you've created where all these people get to, commute from here up to NYC. Like, kind of tap into how that came about, what it's about, and what y'all do.
Yeah, so we're going to the makeup show, New York. Sure. It's a trade show that's for professionals. The first time I went to the show, I went on a trip similar. So I went on a bus trip. The school that I was going to, they did a bus trip up to the makeup show, and it was a lot of fun because it could be very overwhelming. There's a lot to see, a lot to do, a lot of people to meet and everything like that. So that's why I wanted to do it. I've been doing it. I think I did the first one. I did the first one in 2019, and then of course couldn't do it in 2020. Then we did it again in 2020. 2 or 3. I don't even know. These years be just.
I got it.
But we doing another one.
Yeah, for sure.
We doing another one. I just like bringing people together to have fun. It doesn't always have to be all business and let's have some fun. Let's go do some makeup shopping. Let's meet people and everything. Yeah.
Dope. So what's your proudest moment to this point? Like, and I'm gonna say this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Your humility around doing what you do, and you keeping so close to earth, if that makes sense. Like, you don't get too high, too low, and you so authentic about how you communicate. So I appreciate it. Because a lot of people that will have wherever you are. Like, I don't judge where people are at because I don't know where they came from all the time. Like, but you keep this humility around it where like you don't let it go to the point like you have the confidence, but it's not off-putting where you like, shoot, like I ain't really that creative. I see something I do it. I respect it. I love that because I think we need more of that. You know what I mean? Charlamagne the God says this all the time. He's like, stop trying to compete with the algorithm. Be the algorithm. And it's just saying, do your thing.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do your thing. And if people like it, they'll catch on to it. And if they don't, they don't. But to this point, you've been to a lot of places. What's your proudest moment or moments? Like, what's something that you like? It don't even gotta be something that people know yet. Like, what's something that you hit, a call, an email, an event, a handshake? What's some of your proudest moments to this point?
I can think of 2 off the top of my head.
Okay.
I always say one of my proudest moments is being consistent with my podcast.
Yeah.
So literally, I launched on May 5th, 2020. I release episodes every Wednesday, and I haven't missed a Wednesday for the last 4 years.
Okay. Yeah.
So the podcast turns 4 this year, but every single Wednesday I have consistently uploaded an episode. So that's something I'm super proud of. Even when I went overseas, I went to oh my God. I went to DR in December, and the Wi-Fi was so trash.
Yeah.
I had to call my best friend, like, girl, this is my login information. Download this, upload it to you. Like, I was like, not about to miss a episode. So that's one.
Salute.
And then the second one in September that just passed, I received my first award. Like, and I was like, shook.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
That was a Trailblazer joint, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I received the Black Beauty. It's a long ass name, but the Black Beauty Roster 2023 Excellence AJ Crimson Trailblazer Award.
Salute.
Thank you. And it was super important to me
sure.
because AJ Crimson was one of my mentors. He passed away maybe about 2 years ago. So the award is named after him, and they honored me with that award. And he was like really a trailblazer, like the hardest working man that I knew in the industry for sure. So being able to work around him and see that, that's what it is too. Just being around certain people who you just see how they work and you aspire to that. So receiving that award was amazing because when I got the call to say that they wanted to offer the award, I just broke out into tears because it was named after my mentor, and just it's very. My friends know this about me. As humble as I am with my friends, I'm like, they be sleeping on me.
Yeah, for sure.
I just be feeling like I've worked so hard, or I do a lot of stuff, and sometimes it's very easy to feel like nobody sees you. Yeah. So when I got that award, I was like, oh, people are actually paying attention.
For sure.
So that's why it's so important to be consistent and all of that stuff too, because people notice.
Yeah, for sure.
People notice, and I got that award in a room full of my peers. My other mentors were there getting awards and stuff. So it validated me in a way that I didn't realize I needed to be validated, because now the people that I've been trying to get on my podcast is in my face. When am I going to be in the podcast? As soon as I send you the link. They still have it scheduled, but I digress. But just being able to have them in the room, get their numbers. I'm like, they gave me their number. I'm going to keep texting them. That's one thing. I'm very persistent, too.
For sure. Got to.
So if you gave me your number and you said you wanted to do something, what's the problem? I'm going to keep on texting you until you... So,
block me and say, you're going to be like, hey, man, I'm not doing it. One of the two.
That's what it's going to have to be for me to stop. So... I would say those are my two that I can think of all the time.
For sure. Salute. And I heard you say this a lot, so I want to ask a question about it. Here you say mentor and mentee a lot. How important was mentorship for you, and how important is it for you to mentor and pay it forward? So how important are those two aspects of the game? Mentorship
is everything. Being mentored, having somebody that sees you and wants to pour into you, or just feels that comfortable for you to be in their space, has been everything for me. I got to assist Morel Hollis, who at the time was Wendy Williams' makeup artist. And I feel weird even saying that he worked for Bad Boy and stuff. He's not associated with those type of behaviors. You know what I'm saying? No Diddy. But he was Diddy's groomer for a very long time and everything like that. But I would say he was the first person I assisted. And him and another makeup artist. When you get to assist somebody so early in your career and you see what is possible, it's like
for sure
everything. Whereas I'm doing photo shoots and stuff, building my portfolio in DC, eating pizza on set. You go to these other sets, they got full out breakfast and lunch. I'm like, I don't eat pizza no more. Like I start going to shoots, they be like, you want pizza? No, I don't eat pizza. So just being around people like that can mentor you, you just see how hard they work. Sure. You just see the opportunities that you can get. That's very important. Then mentoring, having mentees. There are a lot of people who always ask me for advice on things and slide in my DMs and things like that. So now I have the Trailblazers Club, where if that's what you want, you can get it. If you're in the group, you can talk to me all day. You have a level of access to me that other people don't have.
For sure.
I don't know everything, of course, but I have a big network of people now over the last 11 years. So I'm easily, I bring people into the community to talk, teach master classes, Q&A, mentorship, all of those things. So I think just pouring into other people what I know so far and what I continue to learn, because I'm plugged into other communities outside of the beauty industry, which I think is really important. Like we were just talking about David Shands and stuff. I'm a part of his morning meetup, and I support a lot of the things that he does. So when I'm in other communities and I'm able to get information for myself, implement it, now I can bring it back to my community
for sure,
and share it with my people.
How is it keeping the community tight? How is that for you? Like from a standpoint of like managing, it's like, I don't want to say managing because you're building and you're creating relationships, but how is it keeping the community tight knit. I'll say how is that having such a big community and people that depend on you week in and week out?
Yeah, I mean it's still a growing community. I think just being authentic, like you said,
sure.
not always showing the highlights, but also what else is going on, and just providing the space where people could be vulnerable and support each other through it, and I can support them through it. I think that's what keeps it tight. Also, just challenging them, like not just giving them the okey doke, like pushing them a little bit.
For sure.
I think they really appreciate that.
For sure.
Because they don't really have people around them that would do that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. So before we close out, in 3 to 5 years, and everything is going the way it's going, and you have the vision for your life and for your brand, where do you see it going? Where do you see it going?
3 to 5 years from now, I would like to be the #1 top podcast and resource for beauty industry professionals.
Salute. Oh, yeah.
Definitely doing some correspondent type of stuff, beauty related, but on major red carpets like the BET Awards and Black Girls Rock, those type of things, but bringing the beauty aspect back to the red carpet.
For sure.
Growing like thousands of people in my community, touring, going to different cities, connecting. Yeah, probably some kind of product, not a makeup product, but some kind of product to support the brand. And making coins with it.
Dope. So, where can people find you at? If they want to, follow you on your social platforms, want to stay connected with your group, join your community, where can they get those things at?
Sure. So, if you want to follow me on Instagram, my personal page is Akua Robinson. It's AKUA. Last name is Robinson. Friends in Beauty is Friends in Beauty on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok now. Yeah. Instagram is where I really be at, and YouTube. So please subscribe. I just reached my 1,000 subscribers. And I feel like that's like after the 1,000, I feel like it's going
it's going to shoot up.
After that. So please subscribe. I really appreciate it.
That's big time. I'm going to tell you another big time thing. Like, another thing about that I want to salute is people need to realize that she did not take a Wednesday off for 4 years to build her 1,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people think that 1,000 gonna come.
It's not.
Yeah, you got to grind it out. So salute again on your 1,000.
Thank you.
Hey, so appreciate you coming through. Really, really appreciate your time. I wish you nothing but the best. I think you're gonna be dope. You're gonna keep doing your thing. The authenticity is real. So appreciate y'all tapping in, man. I have Miss Akua Robinson with me, man. It's your boy K. Mims. We are out.
Thank you.
We back up in this thing. You can't roll with us if your last name don't got no loyalty. Podcast party poppin', but you already knew. I've been rolling with these folks. This that Monday night crew. Millennials versus the world like. Millennials versus the world like you. Millennials versus the world like. Millennials versus the world like you. Millennials versus the world. Millennials versus the world like you. Millennials versus the world like. Millennials versus the world like you.